The phone never stopped ringing in Solomon's office. Biden, Putin, Xi Jinping, they all called on the same day. Conversations that started with, "My friend Solomon." Young assistant Sarah wondered why these powerful men spoke to her boss like they were begging. Solomon's real power wasn't money. It was secrets. Sarah Mitchell, 26 years old, Harvard Business School graduate. She had started working as an executive assistant at Goldberg Private Banking 6 months ago. Working in the Swiss bank building was a dream job. Elite clients, international finance, prestigious atmosphere. But the phone calls in Solomon Goldberg's office were very strange. The same pattern every day, world leaders calling, addressing Solomon as friend. And the tone? It wasn't respectful, it was desperate. "Solomon, my friend," Putin had said with his Russian accent last week, "we have problem. You need to freeze opposition leaders' funds." "Consider it done, Vladimir," Solomon had replied calmly. Sarah was shocked. Putin was a world-famous dictator. Why was he asking Solomon for favors? The next day, a different call. Xi Jinping, president of China. "Solomon, we need cash for Taiwan situation. Can you transfer to usual account?" "How much?" Solomon asked casually. 200 million. And Solomon, this conversation never happened. Sarah's hands were shaking as she took notes. Was Solomon controlling world leaders, or was it the opposite? The most shocking call came on Friday. A familiar American voice. "Saul, it's Joe. Election coming up. You know what we discussed?" Biden. U.S. President Biden. "Don't worry, Joe. Opposition funding has been cut. You'll win the election." Sarah realized Solomon wasn't just a banker. He was a world puppeteer. Sarah couldn't suppress her curiosity. Who was Solomon really? She gained secret access to the banking files. The discovery was shocking. Goldberg Private Banking wasn't a normal bank. It was the secret financial hub of the world's most powerful people. Account holders list. Putin's offshore companies. CIA's Black Operations Fund, China Intelligence Services, Israeli Mossad accounts, European Union secret budgets. But the strangest part, enemy countries were using the same services. American and Russian intelligence funds were in the same bank. Israel and Iran's secret money was in the same vault. How is this possible, Sarah wondered. She researched Solomon's background. Public records showed him as a normal Jewish businessman. Grandfather was a Holocaust survivor, family banking business for 3 generations. But deeper digging revealed a different story. Solomon's charity foundations were actually money laundering operations. Investment companies were hiding government bribes. The most disturbing discovery, Solomon's client meeting calendar. Monday, Prime Minister of Israel. Tuesday, Russian Energy Minister. Wednesday, CIA Deputy Director. Thursday, Iranian Revolutionary Guard. Finance Chief. Sarah realized Solomon was having enemy countries meet in the same building, but they weren't aware of each other. Enemy intelligence officers were having meetings on different floors of the building on the same day. Solomon was orchestrating everything. Sarah decided to do deeper investigation. She gained access to security cameras. The footage was incredible. In the same week, Solomon had secret meetings with different government officials. Monday, Mossad agent came with thick briefcase, left empty-handed. Tuesday, Russian oligarch came with gold bars, left with bank transfer papers. Wednesday, CIA operative brought encrypted hard drives, left with cash suitcase. Thursday, Chinese intelligence officer made briefcase exchange. Solomon was an information broker. he was selling secrets. But the most shocking discovery came from elevator surveillance. Russian agent and CIA operative got in the same elevator. They knew each other. "Operation still on schedule?" the CIA asked. "Duh, everything ready for next week," the Russian replied. "Solomon keeps his promises," the CIA smiled. Sarah realized Solomon wasn't making enemies into allies. He was coordinating enemies. World politics conflicts were staged. Solomon was writing the script. Governments were acting. Ukraine crisis, Taiwan tensions, Middle East conflicts, all orchestrated through Solomon's coordination. Real power wasn't money. It was information control. Solomon noticed Sarah's investigation. He called her to his office. "Sarah, come to my office, now." Sarah was scared but curious. Finally, face-to-face confrontation. Solomon behind his massive desk, calm expression. "You've been busy, Sarah, looking through files, watching surveillance?" I was just curious. I understand. Smart girl like you, questions are natural." Solomon stood up, walked to the window overlooking the Swiss Alps. "Sarah, what do you think I do here?" "Banking?" Solomon laughed. "Banking is cover. Real business is much bigger." "Sit down, Sarah," Solomon said gently. "Time to learn the truth." Sarah cautiously sat across from the world's most mysterious banker. "My family, the Goldbergs, have been providing financial services for 400 years, but not normal banking, information banking." "I don't understand." "Governments need enemies to stay in power. Citizens need threats to accept control. My job, provide both." Solomon pressed a button. A large screen displayed a world map with connecting lines. Every major conflict in the last 50 years, Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan, Ukraine, all coordinated through this office. Sarah was horrified. "You mean..." "I mean peace is unprofitable. War generates trillions of dollars. Weapons, reconstruction, loans, aid, all flows through banks like mine." The screen showed financial flows. Massive money streams from every war zone were flowing to Goldberg Bank. But the phone calls. World leaders. "Actors, Sarah. Very good actors. They play their parts. I provide the script." Solomon showed private communications. Biden to Putin. "Invasion on schedule. My approval ratings need boost." Putin to Xi. "Taiwan operation after Ukraine ends." Solomon arranges timing. Netanyahu to Iran supreme leader. "Next exchange. Your nuclear program for my settlements." Sarah felt nauseous. Everything she believed about world politics was a lie. "Why are you telling me this?" "Because you're smart, and smart people are valuable. I'm offering you a choice." "What choice?" "Join the family business, real family business. Help me run the world." Sarah's phone was secretly recording everything, but Solomon probably knew. "What if I say no?" Solomon's expression didn't change. "Sarah, people who know these secrets, they either join us or they disappear. No middle ground." Sarah realized the danger, but also the opportunity. If she could expose Solomon, she could save the world from manipulation. "I need time to think." "Of course, 24 hours, then decision." That night, Sarah made a plan. She would copy Solomon's secret files and leak them to international journalists. But the building's security was incredible. Every movement monitored, every communication tracked. A brilliant idea came. She would use Solomon's own system against him. The next morning at the office, Sarah pretended to work normally. But secretly, she began forwarding Solomon's client communications. Putin-Biden private messages, WikiLeaks, CIA Mossad coordination files, BBC investigative unit China-Iran secret agreements, Washington Post, EU-Russia gas deal coordination, European Parliament whistleblower unit. Sarah was leaking to multiple international news outlets at the same time. Solomon began to suspect. "Sarah, you seem nervous today." "Just tired, Mr. Goldberg. Perhaps you've made a decision about my offer?" "Still thinking?" Solomon smiled, but his eyes were cold. "Don't think too long. Time is a precious commodity." That evening, the story broke simultaneously worldwide. Swiss banker controls world governments. Secret tapes. Biden-Putin coordinate wars. Goldberg leaked files expose global conspiracy. Solomon's phone didn't stop ringing, but this time, world leaders were angry. "Solomon," Putin shouted over the phone, "you promised security. Now the whole world knows." "Sol, you screwed us all." Biden was angry. Solomon remained calm. "Gentlemen, damage control is possible, but expensive." But the damage was too much. International authorities simultaneously began investigating Solomon. Swiss police, FBI, Interpol, EU investigators, all arriving at the same time. Sarah escaped from the building before the arrests started. Solomon's arrest was the biggest scandal in world history. But the system was too deep. Complete destruction was impossible. The trial lasted months. World leaders testified, but most denied everything despite the leaked evidence. Deep fake technology, Biden's lawyers claimed. Stolen documents, manipulated, Putin's team argued. Goldberg is delusional, other leaders said. But the damage was done. Public trust in governments was completely shattered. Sarah became a protected witness. Her testimony was devastating. Solomon Goldberg single-handedly orchestrated every major global conflict for personal profit. World leaders weren't enemies. They were business partners. Solomon received life sentence without parole, but the system survived. "You think arresting me changes anything?" Solomon told Sarah during their final meeting. "The system is bigger than one person. Someone else will take my place." Solomon was right. The banking network continued operating. New leadership emerged. But Sarah had undergone a transformation. After the Goldberg bank experience, her life mission changed. She started the Transparent Finance Initiative, an organization exposing hidden financial connections between governments. "People deserve to know where their tax money goes," Sarah said at conferences. "They deserve to know when their leaders lie about enemies." The initiative grew into a global movement. Young activists worldwide began demanding government financial transparency. Sarah's investigation revealed thousands of Goldberg-style operations, family dynasties controlling politics through money. Solomon wasn't unique, Sarah realized. He was part of a global network. The fight continued, but now people were aware. Solomon, in prison, underwent an unexpected transformation. Years in solitary confinement made him think. "I convinced myself I was keeping the world stable," he wrote in his diary, "but I was creating chaos for profit." He applied for permission to teach financial ethics to inmates. After 3 years, it was approved. "Money is the most dangerous weapon in the wrong hands," he told inmates. "I used it to control the world. You can use knowledge to free the world." The prison program was successful. Former financial criminals became advocates for transparency. Solomon Goldberg's story shows that ultimate power isn't money control, but information control. But real iron will means using that information to liberate, not manipulate. Solomon controlled world leaders like puppets. Sarah cut those puppet strings. True strength isn't controlling people through their secrets. True strength is revealing secrets so people can control themselves. Iron will in finance, transparency over manipulation, truth over profit. A real banking hero doesn't hide money flows, they expose them. Doesn't create conflicts, prevents them. Solomon learned too late. Power over others is temporary. Power to liberate others is eternal. Iron will. Real power isn't controlling the system, it's freeing people from the system. Subscribe for more Iron Will financial truth stories.